Hello, I think I'm live. I'm gonna wait about 2 minutes or so for anybody to join who wants to join. This is my first live stream I've ever done. So yeah, I'll try and keep up with the chat if I can see it, but I make no guarantees as to my multitasking ability. We'll see. Can I even see the chat? There we go. All right, let's see, we got a couple people in here. At 8:02. We'll start at 8:02. I just have my phone propped on my laptop screen here, real professional. People still filing in. We're starting in about 30 seconds, I think. In the preview, do you see the Speed Twin? No, I don't, and I am going to touch on that in a bit. All right, it is 8:02. We're going to get started. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining. This is my very first live stream ever. As I'm sure you heard, Triumph has announced that there's going to be a new line of Bonnevilles coming out for 2021. These are just the 2021 models coming out. They released a short video on the 9th, kind of teasing the new models, using the words British icons beautifully evolved. The full reveal, like the kind of official launch, is going to happen this Tuesday, the 23rd, at 12 o'clock noon GMT, which is 7 a.m. For me here in DC. I'll be up watching it, and I'll be making a video with kind of my immediate reactions to the details of the new bikes as soon as I possibly can after the launch happens. But the reason I wanted to do this live stream tonight is because I have a couple predictions about what Triumph is going to reveal with this new line of Bonnevilles. And I wanted to have this on record so that on Tuesday we can see just how close I got it or how wrong I was. I didn't feel the need to produce like a whole dedicated video just about this, and live stream just seemed like a fun way to handle it. So what I'm going to do is I have notes. I'm going to list some things that I think are not going to happen, some things that I think are going to happen, and some things that I wish would happen, but like I'm not too hopeful about. So yeah, I'll be kind of watching the chat. Like I said, it's my first live stream, so we'll see if I'm able to keep up with it or not. But by all means, use the chat. All right, let's start with things that I think are not happening. Oh, let's see if we have any comments here. Hang on. That's midnight for me. It didn't occur to me until after I had chosen this time of 8 p.m. Eastern that a lot of my European and Asian audience is going to be asleep right now, but at the very least, this will be viewable on my channel after this, so you'll have time to catch up before the actual launch happens on Tuesday. Anyway, starting with things that I think are not happening. One, this is not going to be a whole new generation of motorcycles like remade from the ground up. Triumph just made the evolution to what we kind of refer to as the liquid cooled generation. Starting in 2016, I want to say. That was when the first ones came out, and they've sort of rolled them out gradually after that. But we're barely even 5 years into this new generation, and some of the models in the lineup only came out like 2 years ago. You know, like the Speed Twin is only 2 years old. Same with, I think, the Street Scrambler. Um, so it's just too new. They're not gonna make a whole new generation. And honestly, they're selling too hot. 2020, at least here in the States, was a huge year for motorcycle sales. There's no reason for them to rebuild it from the ground up. Another thing that is not happening, I don't think, and I'm gonna try and show you on my screen the little teaser photo in the teaser video. Let's see, turn my camera around. There we go. So they kind of show you this image that's like, whatever, sort of a blacked out image of all the Bonneville models. And you can see in here, there is nothing that looks like a Speed Twin. This is clearly a T120. You can tell by the dual front discs and also the ribbed pillion seat. Another T120 over here, probably a T120 black. The Street Twin, you can tell by the cast wheels, the very distinctive cast wheels. And then the T100 is back here, which you can tell from the single front disc and also the smooth pillion seat. And this is obviously the Bobber and the Speedmaster. Those are pretty unmistakable. So no Speed Twin shown here, and also no Scramblers, no Scrambler 1200s and no Street Scrambler. So that means no modern classic with the 1200 HP motor is represented here in this model update. So what that means is that, unfortunately, I don't think we're getting a Speed Twin R. I put a little survey on Instagram and another one here on YouTube asking people what they were hoping would come with this update from Triumph, and far and away the most popular response was a Speed Twin R or a Speed Twin RS. You know, maybe with that nicer suspension and brakes and perhaps even a little extra power. I don't think we're going to get that. Triumph knows that that's a popular bike, and the Thruxton too. No Thruxton in that image. They know those are popular bikes, and that would have been included there if they were going to tease that. Checking my notes here. Yeah, I'll talk about this a little bit more when I kind of respond to the official launch on Tuesday, but I don't think we're going to get a Speed Twin R for a long time. Part of me thinks maybe not ever, but there is a chance we'll get it, and I hope we do, but it won't be for a while, and I'll explain why after the proper launch. So now we'll move on to things that I think are going to happen. So this obviously mostly just applies to the T120, T100, Street Twin, Bobber, and Speedmaster. I think they're getting emissions updates. I think they're going to be Euro 5 compliant, going to have some more just emissions compliance. That doesn't really affect us here in the States. I've heard a lot of people complain, and I understand that we here in the United States have to pay for emissions equipment that's only required in Europe. And that's because, motorcycle manufacturers aren't as big as car manufacturers, and they can't really afford to make like wholly distinct models for each market. So like North America is going to get the same bikes that Europe gets, and because the European bikes are now having to have the tighter emissions regulations, emissions standards, whatever, we're going to get those too here. So I think that's going to be the biggest driver of this updated Bonneville, and sadly, I think that means Triumph is going to pass the added cost onto us, the buyers. I know that's a little pessimistic. That's not going to get me any brownie points with Triumph, but whatever. I don't think they were about to send me any press bikes anyway. I think we're going to see a price hike of a few $100, and they're also going to give us some visual tweaks to try and kind of sell the fact that this is like a newly updated Bonneville. And I don't say that as a dig against Triumph. I think pretty much any of the premium manufacturers would do the exact same thing. But what I think is going to happen, and I'll go back to pointing my phone camera at my computer screen here, which, very professional again. I think what they're going to do is they're going to take the design language that we saw with the 2018 to 19 Street Twin update. So this is what the original Street Twin looked like up until 2018, and then we saw in 2019 it got a slightly different kind of side cover here, whatever you call that. The cast wheels got kind of a slightly more modern look. You can see that in comparison. And here's a closer look at those side covers. This is the original. I actually never liked that goofy Street Twin logo. I always wished I could get rid of that. And this is what they updated to. So it's a more modern, kind of more, how do I put it, a little more of a high-tech look. And that I think is going to be the design language that we see going into the updated Bonnevilles. This resembles sort of the designs that are on the Speed Twin and like the new Scrambler 1200s and stuff like that. So I just think we're going to see some continuity of that design across the entire Bonneville range as a result of this update. What else do we got here? Oh, and something else that I do think is going to happen that I am excited about is I think that, let me back up, when they did the update to the Street Twin from 2018 to 19, it got a boost in power. It used to have about 55 horsepower, and now it's got about 65, which they achieved with a lighter crankshaft, I want to say, and also just upping the rev limiter. And the Street Twin got that power boost, and when the Street Scrambler came out, it had that same power figure, but for some reason the T100 stayed at the original 55 horsepower of that 900cc motor. What I think we're going to see on Tuesday is that the T100 will now have the same power figure as the other bikes that share that 900cc motor, the Street Twin and the Street Scrambler. So that's some good news. That's hopefully something to get people a little more excited about the T100, because I kind of worry that bike might, I don't know, kind of lose some of the spotlight to the newer modern classics that have been coming out as this generation has progressed. So that was the stuff that I think is happening. There's a few other things that maybe would have been nice to have. I call these wish list items, but I'm not holding my breath. And some of these came from the question that I posed to my Instagram followers, and also in the survey I did here on YouTube. One of the biggest ones, at least for me personally, would be lighter weight. In my opinion, in just about anything, lighter is better. There are some models in the modern classic range, my Speed Twin included, that use a hybrid steel and aluminum frame. It's like a steel main frame and then an aluminum cradle kind of under the engine. And that has really helped to keep the Speed Twin's weight down, which is one of the things I love about it. The Speed Twin actually weighs the same as the Street Twin, which has an all steel frame and cradle. It's all steel, and with the Speed Twin you get so much more motor and so much more equipment for the exact same weight because they used that aluminum. It would be nice to see greater use of alloys across the modern classic range. Am I expecting that to happen? No. And if it did, I'm sure it would raise the prices quite a bit. So I'm kind of torn about that one. But again, I just think lighter is always better. And something else that I actually heard this from an Instagram user, and also something that I agree with personally, is that maybe adding a sixth gear to the bikes that use the 900cc motor. The T100, Street Twin, and Street Scrambler are all currently 5-speed motors, and it would be really nice to see a sixth gear on those. And that is just about everything. I managed to keep this only slightly longer than I was expecting it to. Like I said, this is just to have something on the record so that on Tuesday I can either say I was dead wrong or, just compare what the actual updates to the Bonneville line is to my expectations. Yes, sixth gear would be nice. Yeah. Um, so yeah, I'll whatever sit around here if you have any comments or predictions of your own that you want to throw out. I'd be happy to read those and reply to them here for a few minutes. Otherwise, I guess the next time you'll hear from me in a proper video will be on Tuesday after the launch of the new Bonnevilles, possibly Wednesday morning, depending on how long it takes me to make a video. Thanks. Yeah, there's. I mean, I would love to be wrong about this. The unveiling on Tuesday is 12 noon British time. So for me here on the East Coast of the U.S., that is 7 a.m. New color schemes, of course. Thank you. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be new colors. Hello, Scott. This will, if you're joining a little late, this will all be saved on my channel so that you can watch later. There will be, I guess you'll have a full day between now and when the official launch is. I just missed a comment that appeared. When I get when a chat comment appears here, it shows up only for a second. So if I miss it, then it fades away. All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. I'll, again, this will be saved on my channel. Oh, there we go. Edition trying to get some. Thank you very much. Yeah, I would love that. Maybe they'll see this someday. Who knows? Yeah, Triumph. I'm rooting for you. But yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. You'll hear from me again sometime not too long after the official launch on Tuesday morning. Hope you have a good week, and I'll see you later. I literally don't know how to stop streaming. There it is.